Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording session of Hearthstone. Boy, that was a weird way to start a recording, just exhausting as I'm like breathing outward. Let's give it a, I suppose, the Paladin cards versus 20 Beasts. Win 3 games with the Warrior, okay, and win 3 games anyways. And we've already done the Tavern Brawl. And I have an incredibly short list. I wrote so nicely. It's a shame. It's a real shame that I only have half a list here. Something is wrong with the audio though. I just don't like what it's at. I'm gonna just turn it down some more. If this makes it really quiet for you, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get everything quieter anyways. So people may very well thank me for that. So trying to play Beast here and do the arena run. And today is the Super Bowl day, so this is in last year proved to be a pretty decent time to play Hearthstone because there's not that many people playing online. Let's try this. Let's see. Shawl of Secrets. We'll take this. We'll take this one. And well, let's see, what do I want? Maybe a good late game card would be a good idea. Restore a minion to full health. Enemy minions lose stealth. At the start of your turn, restore a minion to full health. Restore this minion. I'll take this one. Deal 2 damage. And restore 6 health, summon a 6 cost character. So if you start of your turn, reduce this price by 1, I'll take that. Taunt, deal 1 damage. Return a friendly minion to the battlefield from your hand. I'll take that, I guess. Not a really great choice. This and spell damage +2, not great. Spell damage +2, not great. Summon a Jade and take that one, and let's see, we'll take this one. I'm not doing really good here. Savage Roar, that's a good one to have. Take the ability to destroy a minion, take that card. We'll take another beast. Let's see, 6 more cards to play. Whenever a minion dies, gain +1 attack. Knife Juggler, that's certainly one to try. Savage Roar again. Charge or taunt. We'll take a taunt creature. We'll take a 0 creature. Because, let's see. Take that. So, dangerous here. Slight dangers. That I might actually not even get through the arena run before I've finished all the quests and talked about everything. But yeah, it's kind of a weird day. I got up, played this point and click adventure game that was supposed to be a point and click adventure game, I guess. And it looks like my Hearthstone deck tracker didn't succeed at all at making that deck, which sucks, but okay, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I was playing this game called Axel and Pixel, and just a huge disappointment. It's not really a point-and-click adventure game as much as it is just click everywhere and eventually you'll succeed. There's no challenge at all in the game until you get to mini games that are then incredibly poorly thought out and programmed and way too difficult. For a second, before you get to that point, it feels like, well, maybe it's a early childhood game where you just, it's for basically babies to just click on everything and they would move something. But then you hit the mini games and you're like, wait, this is too difficult even for an adult semi-pro gamer. Should I call myself a semi-pro gamer? I don't even think that's probably still not the right description for me. So yeah, I don't think I want to, even though this technically is my profession.
They fell off the truck.
That's not what professional gamer really means. And then the game is just so obscure. After you summon the minion, give it +1/+1. Let's see. All characters get plus. Deal 2 damage.
This isn't great.
So, yeah, Axel and Pixel, real disappointment. And I wanted it kind of as a frustration soap, as it is. I keep looking towards games to act as a soap to distract me from my frustration of the previous game, and I keep running into games that are frustrating for one reason or the other. Perhaps in general I'm just a very frustrated person. Many people would probably agree with that. And I think I might eventually get beaten down to agreeing to it myself. Restore a minion to full health. Let's see, if I did this, and then this, and then this,
for the wild.
Take this. There we go. So yeah, I guess now I've done my as much as I can do. The Axel and Pixel was a pretty short series in the first place, and now I just need to go on to Broken Sword 3 and work up to 4 and 5 and be done with my mini series of covering the Broken Sword series. Then I need to get back to the Telltale. No, not Yes, Telltale. Yeah, I need to get back to that and finish off the few Telltale games that are left.
For the wild.
Yeah. So, and then when I'm done with all the Telltale games, then there's still probably a few newer ones I haven't gotten, like Season 3 of The Walking Dead I haven't gotten, and I think there might be one. No, I think Season 3 of The Walking Dead would be about it right now. Well, the Batman one too. I didn't do the Batman one at all. So I'd have to purchase that.
Taste the mana.
So, why did I even bother to write down all of this so small? Let's see. For me, the month just started, but according to rumor, and actually according to the person in charge, it seems, the balance changes will be coming to the Hearthstone by the end of the month. So I have about 1 month left.
For the wilds.
I have about 1 month to continue to enjoy the game as it is, and then balance changes will come. And if it's the same people that were thinking about getting rid of pirates, or not getting rid of pirates, but changing them, we can probably expect a lot of changes to pirates. So we got a couple of things here that a lot of this stuff was just leftover stuff from last recording session too. So if I had decided to go on further in last recording session 3 days ago, it would have just left me with less things to talk about here. But I suppose it is worth pointing out, I made a huge mistake, and I don't have an even greater excuse to explain why I didn't recognize this mistake. But the entirety of my Hearthstone series was programmed to air at the wrong time. What happened is my things that should have been programmed to record to air in March somehow got programmed in to record in February. This is mostly because of the bad system that YouTube has. So the first thing that aired on February 1st, there was a video on February 1st that was the right video, and then next month's video, and they both aired, and I can't reschedule it, so March 1st will not have a Hearthstone video air at all because of it. But then I started looking into more, and because I probably messed up that first video and told it to air in February instead of March, I used that information to program the next one, and so the next one would have aired the next day if I hadn't changed the scheduling and all of that. But sadly, there's nothing you can really do about it to fix it. You can't re-air things, and that's definitely a shame.
For the wild.
Yep. So I've lost this first game. So yeah, because of all of that mistake, and that mistake cascading to me looking at how far ahead I had scheduled Hearthstone, I was missing an entire month of footage, and I didn't recognize it. It should have been blaringly obvious. It should have been like, wait a minute, how can I be a month behind on Hearthstone? I was getting the feeling that what was happening is I was just getting 2 recordings and every 3 days and falling back behind that way. But while that is the case, sometimes it's not that consistent that it is messing up and actually having me fall behind. And consistently for at least a year, Hearthstone has been usually a month ahead of everything else too. So Hearthstone is always ahead. So how it was falling down and how I didn't recognize that shows that I was just not in the right mental setting. I was just not seeing what was going on. And now that I fixed that, my Hearthstone schedules are back to where they should be, and I don't have to be too what would be the word?
For the wild.
Concerned about running out of Hearthstone things, which that was a big concern. I was thinking, if I just run out of videos, it's just gonna go silent and I'm not going to air anything during the time slot. Is kind of what I was thinking, but now that that's been fixed, that's good. Now, right now, we do have a little bit of an issue going on.
For the wild.
This isn't a great turn of events. This isn't going to be a great arena run at this rate. Moving on, Resident Evil 7's field of view is capped at 90 degrees. So, what I suspect, the reason why they explained it, and from what I'm getting, is that to not cause lagging when you look to the left or right real fast, everything is rendered in Resident Evil 7. Now, Resident Evil 7 in particular is also kind of this it's kind of always in small areas. I'll talk about that in a second too, but from what I've seen, which is almost the entire game now, because I watched somebody do a knife-only speed run in a couple hours of the game, and I've seen everything, and I've totally spoiled myself on it, and now I kind of don't really have a huge motivation to play the game. One of the factors that I think they're gonna find is that it doesn't have the replayability that's anywhere as much as RE4 had. RE4, 6 to 9 times I've played that game through, and I would be willing to play it again at least 2 more times tomorrow if I could get it to run on my PC. I looked at that too. If I get a new video card and that does fix things, which it won't, but not for RE4, I'm pretty sure, but maybe it would fix the Lego games. That would be great. It really wouldn't change much though. I'm not going to go back and play any of those Lego games. But if I get a new video card, it won't be the same as my 970. I don't want to do SLI or anything like that. So what I can do is use my 970 to record and encode the video, and then have what would be a 1080 or 1180 or something better.
My thanks.
That could be the video card just for games. So I can get a lot of use still out of my old video card. It was certainly going to be a hassle to try and sell it or do something else with it. I don't really have time to try and build another computer and all that. So yeah, the best thing I think I could do with it is stick it in my secondary slot, and I don't know if my video card, my power supply can handle both of them, but we would see.
I must protect the wild.
But back to RE7, the 90-degree capping of the field of vision tells me, in my opinion, my guess, yeah, it's a guess, it's not an opinion even, that things are always rendering at 90 degrees. Now, I don't know, for as small as the areas are, I don't know why they don't just do 360 degrees within a reasonable distance, or the entire render distance of the game. That to me seems like it would totally be something you could do. But it's only 90, and so you're talking 1/4 of the entire circle around you, and so what I imagine is anything that's 91 or more degrees away starts to get deloaded from memory to memory, video memory. And I can't really disagree with it. I kind of wish it was 360. I wish computers and video cards were powerful enough to have that much video RAM, and just everything around you is always rendered, and everything would work really nice, and you could turn around in a circle. It also, since this game is in part being centered around the idea of VR, I could see people with VR headsets turning more than 90 degrees really fast and potentially running into problems. But I mean, I can't really complain about how RE7 did it, because RE7 seems to run smoothly and work. And if that was the compromise they had to do, maybe in RE8 it will be capped at 180 degrees, and maybe in RE9 it will be 360. After you do 360 degrees, you're all around you. Now, the other question, I suppose, would be, does that include the vertical as well as the horizontal? Because I've been thinking 90 degrees on the horizontal where you look left and right, but does it also render 90 degrees above you and below you? Because that would be another factor. Let's see.
I'll put it on your tab. Job's done.
So, yeah, that's another thought. 360 by 360 would be a full sphere around you, and that ideally would be all you want. But then you would also probably have eventually ideas of rendering different views, different dimensions and such around you. So we could continuously add more demanding setups. Moving on, Double Dragon 4. What did I write here? Oh, that's two things. Double Dragon 4 sucks. That's all I wrote. And the rest of it is something else. Yeah, it sucks. It's kind of a shame, because this in particular game was in a good setup to
For the wild. Another round.
to maybe usher in a new age of games that were continuations or in the spirit of previous NES games. For as much as that would be interesting, there's a few games I like that too, and almost all of them are Nintendo original IPs. Like, if you said you were going to make Super Mario Brothers 4, which I think there probably is a Super Mario Brothers 4 out there by something. Isn't that what Super Mario Land was called? But if you were going to do something like that and do just pixel art like Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and even the 1, 2, and 3 all look drastically different, and I know we already have new Super Mario Bros. With the 3D and all that, so it would have to be an interesting passion project, really. I want to get at least one win here in the arena run. That'd be very interesting. The Legend of Zelda 1, again, The Legend of Zelda 2, or the Adventures of Link, or whatever the sequel was called, is drastically different visually. But the first game, if you're going to remake something like that, that would be cool too. But then that's kind of it. And there's probably more than enough indie games out there that have that pixel art as a selling point, just because they're not good enough at animating to do anything better. So So in that consideration, while this might have ushered in 10, maybe 20 games that were really interesting, it failed, and it probably is not going to usher anything in. And we'll probably find that we still get a decent number of indie Steam Greenlight games that look like that. So it wasn't like the market was destroyed by Double Dragon 4's failure, but it certainly wasn't helped, and that's kind of a shame. Let's see, the last Nintendo Wii game has been canceled. So there was some robot game that Nintendo proper was making. That's not to say there aren't some third-party people that are going to continue to make games. There's probably still third-party making Super Nintendo and NES games. Windows 10 game mode seems to not really be effective, except for maybe the smallest and slowest of PCs. That's what I get from it, is that the slowest of the slow PCs might benefit from that, but everybody else is going to be so overpowered that the concept of turning off some services doesn't really help anything. And it probably isn't going to help me in particular, because I already have like Cortana turned off, I think, and I don't think background file history is really doing anything that's messing up my computer. If it could possibly stop Chrome from using so much memory while it's still being open, that might be helpful. Also, Chrome is probably doing a lot of data writes, from what I hear, and that kind of sucks too. I could adjust it, but I just haven't bothered to get around to doing it. But the general concept seems to be cool, and it's a step in the right direction. If in just a theology, I use the word theology in the wrong use. Method of operating might be a better way to say it. If in that alone Microsoft decided to take a step back and make their operating system more lightweight and just more efficient and not bogged down with things, that would be very, very nice. Well, that's odd. It's already been 30 minutes. And we got one win. I suppose breaking my stride is a bad mistake, but maybe not, because I was losing anyways. Well, that's gonna be it for this recording. I still have some things to talk about, so I can make a second recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.